Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Joe. Welcome back to another episode of the Inside Our Phillies podcast. The Phillies, right now, have lost two games in the Yankee series. They're up 11-4 here in the eighth inning of Game Three. And here to talk all about this series, we have Jeremy, SJ Phillies fan. How are you today, man?
A lot better than if they were losing 11-4 in the eighth inning.
This felt like a loss when it was like 6-3. I'm going to be honest with you. Uh, Also here to discuss everything, we have Giles with us today. How are
Hey,
you?
uh, as good as I can be.
That's fair. I think people are feeling probably the most down about the Phillies that they have in a long time. So let's go to you first on this one, Giles. Is that how you're feeling right now too?
Um, I want to preface this by saying that I always like to do this before, I say something negative because somebody will always come out of the woodworks and say, oh, the team just started struggling and you're instantly turning on them. I'm not a doomer. I stuck to this team through the doldrums of July in 2024, continued to believe in them through that. Like, I don't turn quickly. I've sort of withheld judgment on this team for about 3+ months or so. Uh, and I'm done. I've come to they're not a really good baseball team. They are at best, I think, an average baseball team right now. This offense is embarrassingly awful. There is no, good amount of good that trading for, Mike Trout, which isn't going to happen. I'm tired of hearing about this, or Byron Buxton, which would murder this team for the next 6 years by draining the farm system, will do that will meaningfully fix this offense. This offense is the worst in the league by OBP. They are near bottom of the league or bottom of the league in WRC plus. It is horrific. They have the worst, I just say the worst fielding in all of baseball. They have a bullpen that is basically Big Bad Jonathan Bolin, Joan Duran, sometimes a Ryan Kirkering, and then a bunch of prayers. And they have 3/5 of a major league rotation. And Christopher Sanchez currently looks like he's starting to run out of gas. I don't want to imagine what he's going to look like come playoffs. I don't think this is a World Series contender, and I don't think there's anything that they can do at the deadline short of a 2021 Braves style deadline, which is a unicorn of a trade deadline that they can do in order to meaningfully fix the issues on this team.
Is that where you're at too, Jeremy?
Kind of, but it's also possible the team can get hot at the right time and go on the run. But yeah, if we truly didn't care about this, we wouldn't do the podcast. We don't get paid for this crap.
Oh yeah, I care. I'm not saying I don't care.
I know people like, oh, like
Okay.
we talk negative, and stuff. So it's just like, yeah, like if we were two doomers, we wouldn't even bother. Ugh.
And like I
Yeah,
want to be clear is that, I I love this team. I love the players on this team. Uh it's just it's time to be honest about what this is right now. These guys are mostly over the hill. Um, they are declining. The whole Bryce Harper, proving Dave Dombrowski wrong shit is gone. He's currently doing worse than he was last year. His base running is atrocious. I don't want to imagine what he's going to be in 2028. Schwarber is cooled off dramatically. You can get hot again, obviously. Like Jeremy said, by no way am I saying by like guarantee I place my life on the fact this team can't win a World Series this year. You know, baseball has a far more variability in it than football in terms of randomness in the playoffs, as we of course still talk about with 2020 fucking 2023. But I think if you're looking at this team and aren't seeing gigantic flashing red flags and alarm bells, then I think you're just being willfully blind at this point.
It's
yeah,
tough.
I agree. Yeah,
I like
this offense. Yeah, this offense is crap. This defense is horrible. Freaking Turner had another error this game. He has 18 now, and it's not even
Jesus.
August.
it's pretty brutal. I think we can go piece by piece, team by team, or part of the team through part of the team, and say how they're just deficient in so many ways. I mean, we know they have like three great top end starting pitchers. Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper can carry you at any given time, each of them, and like theoretically, that gives them the upside to be able to win
Mhm.
any series, but it doesn't mean it's likely, and it doesn't mean that it's something you can count on.
I, one of my sort of formative sporting experiences, and it shit happened when I was 19 years old, was the 2020 NFL season and the 2020 Steelers. And watching them go 11-0, this team's amazing, and just sort of ignoring everything under the hood that was saying this is all bullshit, smoke and mirrors. Um, and I think a lot of the people that are saying, oh, well, the 2008 team had the same record by this point before the end of this game, you're just ignoring it. You're just ignoring things. The 2008 team had a positive run differential. The 2008 team did not have a near 40% winning percentage against teams over 500. Like, if we're going to talk about, and I did, how, absurd the bad luck for the Phillies was in April, we also have to talk about and acknowledge how absurd their good luck was through May and June. And how soft that schedule was. They now have the 5th hardest schedule remaining in all of baseball. They are not winning this division. Like, I feel very confident in saying that they are not winning the division against the Braves.
What are they, 6 games back in the loss column right now?
I think so. And a 5.5
Yeah.
back starting today, I think.
And we would have to sweep to even get close to winning the season series.
Yep. And, the Braves are if you even debate that the Braves are an all-around better team, I just don't really want to listen to your opinion on this. I think you're being toxically positive at this point. And I don't like using that phrase about fandoms, but it is approaching toxic optimism right now. If you're not seeing, I think, sort of the writing on the wall. And, I think as fans, if we want to Thelma and Louise it, and obviously we discussed before this that we're going to have an episode on this. If you want to Thelma and Louise it and just ride off the cliff with this roster, fine. Okay. But at least be honest about what you are doing and what you're planning to do with this roster then. Don't pretend that this roster isn't already on the other side of the hill right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to ignore the deficiencies that they have. And I think I already mentioned this earlier, but kind of going through this Yankee series here, and I think just taking a look at the first 2 games of this series tells you all you really need to know about the 2026 Phillies, with the way that they've had to start not even start, but have their bulk boy be some random guy named Brian Keller that I don't think any of us had heard of until a week ago. And the
Dude,
offense.
I saw B. Keller in the box score, and I did a double take. I didn't even know we fucking signed him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that was hurt for 3 years and last pitched in Japan. And, it's good for him to make the major leagues at 32 after a career of kind of, slaving away.
Yeah. So you guys are probably too young for this, but there was a pitcher, Brian Mazzone, that was pitching really well for back when they were in Scranton. And did he ended up making the major? No, he never did end up making the majors. So, but it was terrible. He was 29 years old. He in AAA. He had a 2.03 ERA in 20 starts that year, and he got called up for a doubleheader, but one game got rained out, so they didn't end up using him. They set him down. Yeah, and he never made the majors. They should have called him up.
Real quick, I used to make a joke with my dad when I was younger that if Tom McCarthy ever let off with, well, this guy's a great story, he sucked. 2017, Jessentarian. I don't know if any of you guys remember Jessentarian in his 8.35 ERA, but the first thing Tom McCarthy ever said about him when he came up was, yeah, he's a great story, this guy. And then he proceeded to get shelled. So, just great story, but just what they're having to reach for. Serious teams are not starting Gabriel fucking Rincones in 80% of their games.
Yeah.
And, I think also just on an organizational level, by the way, it is fucking embarrassing that somebody leaked that he was supposedly getting sent down. I'm sure you guys talked about that already, but that's just pathetic level stuff right there in my mind.
Yeah. Even the Derek Hill stuff is starting to kind of get unglued
Yep.
No, I
And
mean that was
The
always
400
we were
BABIP
always
wasn't sustainable.
it was
no,
not.
anyone who was actually thinking that Derek Hill was the savior was just come on. It was always a uh washed down insanity run.
Yeah. It was an
Yeah.
okay move,
Th-
but
th- th-
let's not pretend it's a solution.
I know, but there's always a couple guys a year in the majors who go like, oh, these quad A players do amazing for a little bit, and then they come
Harrison
back down.
Bader.
Harrison Bader is not like that, but he was on a hot streak, yes.
He was on kind of a insanity run, dude. Like
But
last year. Come on.
yeah, fair. But but overall, Bader is still a starter in
Oh
Major League
yeah,
Baseball.
yeah. I agree with that. I'm
But
just saying,
Derek Hill
way
isn't. I'm just saying.
way
No, but like
outperforming
you
his
have,
career.
yeah, yeah. But that's a 50-game sample size.
Mhm.
That's fine. But yeah.
Oh
So
man.
anyone who actually is just, you can tell people who don't know ball if they think Derek Hill was for real.
I mean,
I'm sure that if either of you, I don't know how much Jeremy like peruses the sub. I put a post up today saying that basically this team was over the hill and they shouldn't buy at the deadline. And we're not going to discuss that again. That's in a later episode. But somebody made a comment that was like, I think you're hyper focusing on certain things, and I think overall, by and large, our team still has a product that's better than most of the league. And I presented a lot of stuff in that article. I'm not going to counter that comment. I'm not going to call the person out. But if the organization thinks that, still actually views this team that way, that we're actually still better than most of the league, and these guys are just on a cold stretch, they are going to be making, I think, a massive error in evaluation of this roster. I think what we are seeing with Harper and Schwarber slowing down, I fear it is not a cold stretch. I fear it is old players getting worn down throughout the course of a season.
yeah,
I don't know that it's a cold. It might be a cold stretch. I hope it is. I hope that we can go back to that post in what would it be, like 4 months, and laugh our asses off at me. Okay, you know, wow, look at Giles, look what a dumb fuck he is. The Phillies won the World Series. There's nothing I'd love more. And I think obviously we could say that for everybody here, but I do not have the faith anymore. I think this roster is done.
I think with Sanchez too, we're seeing them push Sanchez like really quite
Yeah, 'cause
far.
they have to. Like, there's nobody in the pen.
But do they have to? Like, I know that they maybe needed him for the sixth inning today, and the bullpen was light today with Bolin unavailable, Kerkering apparently unavailable because he's sick. So like, yes, like the extra inning was great, but like I feel like this is the kind of thing that's just going to add up over the course of the year.
Oh, it
And
is.
Sanchez, I don't think has looked right. To me,
Nope.
like I think I finally kind of figured out what's making him look wrong this year. And I feel like he's pitching much fewer pitches in the shadow of the zone. I feel like last year before that even, he lived in the shadow of the zone where he was, constantly just pitching on the edges. And this year, I feel like when he's missing and he's throwing balls, they're way off, right?
It's Vince Velasquez balls. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
I feel like it's the pitching staff in general, though. Like the bullpen guys just come out and they not even competitive balls, or just come out and walk guys.
Yep.
And it's like, obviously, like Cotham has been so good for us past few years. You have like, oh, okay, Cotham, but it's just like really weird. Like, why? It's like, I know that MLB is messing with the balls and stuff, so maybe something's weird that just our pitchers can't grip it.
I just say that I think there's a point where there's only so much a manager can do or a pitching coach can do, and
Yeah, no,
the quality of
yeah.
the players are just shit. There's nothing really you can do about it. Like for instance, I don't just mention him. I don't think Caleb Cotham could have made Vince Velasquez a competent major league pitcher.
No,
But
yeah.
this leads me to my other thing is that and again, I'm sure you guys discussed this, but Don Mattingly's not a good major league manager. This point blank period. I do. If you thought or had frustrations with Rob Thompson in the playoffs and his bullpen decisions, you are going to need to be put in a psych ward when you watch Don Mattingly manage the bullpen in the playoffs, because he is atrocious at it. he is still seemingly stuck in the, well, if my guy's going good tonight, I can ignore the third time through the order shit. Like, especially with Aaron Nola. It's like, no, you can't. No, third time through the order is real. And I don't, I question sometimes whether Mattingly really believes that, or if it's literally a case of, I'd rather take my chances third time through the order because the bullpen is that bad, which is honestly just as bad, if not worse, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah. I think we talked like a fair bit about that in the last episode, but it's, I think, hard to disagree with that, right? Like, I think that maybe they needed to make a change. I think they needed to make a change. But I think it's pretty clear that like Rob Thompson was like a better X and O's manager.
Yes. And just that leads me to sort of just an organizational thing that I am really concerned that, listen, I will judge this after the deadline, but I am concerned that Middleton is sort of becoming a finger in the pie type of owner, where he needs to have sort of a say on sort of big decisions regarding the team, and he doesn't sort of take his hands off and let the team run itself.
Every owner gets a big decision, gets to say in it. That's
I don't.
Middleton's just in the he's willing to speak to the press and like.
I don't think he should.
I
don't think he should.
Then you get shit like John Fisher being quiet for decades and.
Listen. I don't listen. My concern is that, and I've voiced this I think before, that for instance Rob Thompson was fired because John Middleton was scared of fan backlash after April. Even not that it was the right move to make, or it was truly time to make a change, or Rob Thompson was making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision that was putting the team at that 9-19 start they were at. It was just the fans want something to happen, so therefore we're going to make something happen. And I'm kind of concerned that it is going to be the same way at the deadline, where the fans want the huge move that isn't actually going to really move the needle on this team. And as a result, we'll dump off anything of value that is left in the farm system.
We'll get a lot more to the deadline.
It's very hard to not get into it right now.
It is. But
we're not going to talk about we're not going to talk about the trade we made.
Why don't you? It's all you.
Cameron Misner from the Royals for cash considerations. We DFA'd Barrera on the 40-man firm.
What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm pretty sure he was a first-round pick, so
that pedigree, right?
Beat me to it.
Yeah. He was a Marlins first-round pick in 2019. Yeah, he's got a cool negative .3 career WAR with a OPS of 571, and he bats left.
What we need? We need another shitty left-handed hitter.
Is this the big move for the Phillies?
This is where the turnaround starts, Joe.
It might be.
This is this year's Jeff Hoffman.
It might be. That's all I'm saying.
Unironically, I would trade back for Hoffman.
I would too.
Honestly, just for the memories.
Well, no,
for me.
No, his peripherals are good, and he at this point he probably needs to get out of Toronto, and we probably get him for cheap.
I don't think it would hurt that much, right? Like
Toronto. Okay, I do it, and Toronto pays us to get rid of the Asplunda ads.
That's a trade I would take.
It's the Asplunder. You gotta say it correctly.
Asplunder, whatever.
Yeah, it's all I see is Asplunder. It's just like, who thinks it's a great
question. With those ads in left field, why the fuck do we have a flower bed anymore?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why do we still have them?
Nobody can see them from like around the stadium unless you're sitting directly behind the goddamn like flower bed. Nobody sees it.
And as much as I love that gone and everything, but the flower beds were never pretty. Like we can be honest about that, but it's better than what we have now.
It's better than the ads. At least it was an attempt.
I know. But the flower beds, like the flower beds were like weeds basically.
Yeah, true. It gives me an excuse to bitch about the ads more. Let's just say that.
Oh, I agree. Oh no, I agree. But
guys,
it's
who is ready in 6 years for the $5 quintillion renovation of CVP to put a roof on the stadium that makes it, look like an abomination, and the roof is just a giant Splendor ad.
Oh no! Please save us.
No, but like go back to the bullpen. Like, it is baffling to me that we keep Seth Johnson and refuse like McFarland
Dude,
pitch
he's
one
so
inning.
bad. He's so
No, but like
bad.
McFarland, Alec McFarland can't.
We got
I
McFarland's
do
got to
not
go back down to
understand.
Double-A. Yeah, or Triple-A,
Well, what?
wherever they sent him.
I think they sent him back to
Did they
Double A.
Jesus, really?
Wait, did they?
I thought they did.
No. Triple A. They actually
Okay.
sent him back to Triple A.
But like, even so,
So-
Seth Johnson's fucking dog shit. Like, I'm sorry, Johnson sucks. And
I know. I wanted him to be
McFarlane,
good
like,
so
at least he's an
Uh.
unknown quantity. Like the
So is
devil you
100.
don't know.
They keep trying to wrap around innings with Seth Johnson for
Yeah, it makes no
God
sense.
knows what reason.
His fastball looks good. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
If
his
you
fastball
say,
doesn't look good.
I guess,
No,
bro.
he can't. He can't throw. He can't. He has no idea where it's going.
Insert the I guess, bro meme. Like, I guess.
I am so tired of the wraparound innings. If I see one more wraparound inning, I am going to lose my mind, which probably means I'm going to lose my mind sometime in this upcoming series against the Marlins.
Oh, the Marlins. That's a great time to destroy any remaining hope with this team.
Yeah. No, really. I view the Marlins series coming up as like a litmus test.
Yes.
I think that if they lose this series, they probably don't make the playoffs. That's kind of where I'm at this point.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I don't know if I'm at the them like outright missing the playoffs quite yet, but I lose all hope of them winning a World Series pretty much if they lose this series to the Marlins, like, convincingly.
Like we've seen. Okay, if the 06 Cardinals can win the World Series, anyone can win the World Series.
Yeah, but like, I will be going into the playoffs with completely no expectations.
Oh no, yeah, I would. Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's what I
shocked.
mean. I'm not saying definitely there's no way they could win a World
Yeah.
Series or something.
Yeah, they could
God
get
could
hot.
always come down from heaven and will them to it, but whatever.
And this is a series the Phillies should win because they have a
Yeah.
Wheeler starting here and they have a Luzardo starting here.
Can I just say how, like, the most ridiculous fucking thing of this entire May to mid-July stretch was the fact that they were winning 80 to 90% of the Wheeler Sanchez Luzardo games. That is just so absurdly, ridiculously not sustainable. And the fact that I think we sort of you had to sort of play along and pretend that it was, or be crucified, was ridiculous. I don't know any other team in history that wins like 80 or 90% of even one starting pitcher's starts.
If you want to be positive, you can look at it and say, hey, they've lost almost every single fifth starter game, though, right? Like, it can go a little bit in both directions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do want to say one positive is that Jesus has just been unbelievable lately. He's just been getting, I think, better as the season's gone on. And I will keep the Jesus Luzardo is an ace train going until my dying breath this season. But that's about the only thing, him and Wheeler, really, that's been really positive since the All-Star game.
Yeah. I mean, the All-Star game has just been like a point where I think we could like take a step back and really assess
Evaluate
things for what they are.
Yep.
And I am worried about Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber, which I know sounds crazy, but they have had bad Julys. So like, as you're saying, Giles, like, is this them just breaking down, or is it just a down month that they'll come back from? I mean, you look at like the month stats, and this is like by far the worst month of Harper's career as a Philly.
Yeah, WRC plus of 49 this month. So like, that is just for reference points. Zach Greinke, I think, had a career WRC plus of 60. So like, he is doing significantly worse than Greinke's career numbers this month, and his BABIP is just terribly, striking out a third of the time. It's just been awful this month. I think actually though, what's getting sort of brushed under the radar is Brandon Marsh lately.
Yeah.
No, it's
dude
not. I don't think it's getting. I don't think it's getting
it's
under
not.
the radar.
I think it doesn't get looked at quite as much as say Harper would or Schwarber would.
I think people have been ignoring the entire Schwarber and Harper thing. People have not been talking about
Really,
any of those guys because they've been talking about the current.
Jesus, dude, Marsh this month, WRC plus 24.
Yeah,
Not
he's
great.
swinging. He can't stop swinging at balls. It's like when the team
Yep.
is bad, they can't stop swinging at balls,
And
so they just.
I'm tired. This is the most I've worked up. I'm going to get this episode. Can we just finally, for God's fucking sake, stop pretending that this man is going to learn to hit left-handed pitching? Can we just stop it already?
He was. He was. He's no. He is.
He was
I still
hot.
believe he's still capable. So he's still capable of who. The point is, who's going to replace him in the lineup that's better defensively and it could hit well enough to make up the difference? No one.
I'd
There's no
rather have
point.
him in there than Rincones.
I'd rather.
Exactly.
Oh, you want me? I will.
There's
Okay.
no point. There's no point taking
I
him
would
out.
rather see. I guess I've finally gotten here. I would rather see against left-handed pitching. I think Crawford in left, Derek Hill in center, and Trey Turner in right field.
Well, they're never going to
But
do
they're not
that.
moving.
They're never going to do that. They're never going to do that, but they
After.
should.
Yeah.
They should. Like, listen, I will, I'll in future I'll just start saying I understand that they won't do this, but they should. This is something they absolutely should
Also,
do.
Phillies won. Woo!
Woo! Yay! False
Yay.
hope. False hope. Let's go. Buy at the deadline. Buy. Fuck the future, right? Screw all the fans that are actually going to watch during the rebuild when this team is dog shit for 7 or 8 years. I'm a bandwagon fan. I'll just go watch the Eagles, while this Phillies team sucks and pretend that they don't exist for another 10 years, like half the city did from 2014 to
More than half the
2022.
city.
Yeah, more than half the city. 80% of the city did. Because screw you guys, so who cares about the future? I certainly don't, because I won't be watching it. Maybe I'd rather not, raise my kids on shitty ass Phillies teams like I had to be raised on. But hey, who am I to talk, right?
Is the future already like in a bad spot though, right?
It's already, yeah. Oh yeah. I think we are already condemned to 4 to 6 years of shit. And I think if they, can't avoid it. If they do what I don't want them to do, which is go fully all in at this deadline, then you are condemning it to be probably 7 or 8 years. Because you will.
Well, the thing is, there is no one worth to go in all the deadlines, so it would be even dumber if they do it.
Yeah, I think they're going to try to do it anyways. Like, I legitimately think Dave Dombrowski, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that Dave Dombrowski does something incredibly stupid, like make a serious play at Byron Buxton. And, hope that Byron Buxton waives his no trade clause.
I have a feeling it's going to be Sandy Alcantara. I just have a feeling
Jesus
that's going to be the trade deadline.
Christ! Like, that'd be even worse because it's a pitcher.
Name one trade where we've lost to the Marlins.
That's fair. But also, this team doesn't need more pitching. That is the starting pitching.
I know. It's what I said in the last podcast. Great. We trade for another high end starter who might not pitch because we won't watch game 4 because we lose every game 2-1.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But we need to trade everything for Tarek Skubal, for a fucking rental of Tarek Skubal. That's what we need to do according to some people, right? Or trade for 80-year-old Mike Trout. Ooh, that'll fix this team.
No. If we were trading for a pitcher, I want to trade for a Michael Lorenzen type pitcher. That's someone who can actually, someone who can go 6 innings, give up 4 runs or less.
Just eat innings. I don't even care if they're shit. Just eat innings and pitch to a sub-6 ERA. That's
Where's
it.
Jordan Lyles? Is Jordan Lyles retired?
Right? Can Kyle Gibson come out of retirement?
Oh man, Gibby.
Nah, he was cooked.
Nah. We get good old Caleb Coughlin. We'll get something good out of Kyle Gibson. I think there is a sort of, I think this fan base is in large sense is in denial, and I don't blame them. I'm not trying to condescend to them. It is incredibly painful to watch a group of guys that, I think if you deny was incredibly likable in 22 and 23, really dramatically fall off the cliff like they have apparently this year. or begin to fall off the cliff. It is painful, and you don't want it to be true, and you want to really just I don't want to say the sentence that I'm saying. I've come around to the idea that Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Zach Wheeler, Aaron Nola, all my favorite players, they are never winning a ring with this team. And I think the sooner everybody who runs this organization accepts that, the better off this organization will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty hard to disagree.
And like I was on here in 2025 talking about this team being a World Series contender and how I thought they had a real shot at it last year and
You
all of
were?
that. And, I didn't think this year would be this bad and all of that. And I was wrong. They have fallen off dramatically this season, and there is no amount of bullshittery at the deadline you can do anymore. There are no more mid-level prospects to trade. You can't beat around the bush. And, just like if you're talking about in the farm system, Gage Wood is your like second or third best prospect, a guy who you drafted like a year ago, you are fucked.
Yeah.
If every year you are drafting, your second best prospect into the minor leagues, that's not good. That is not indicative of a healthy organization. That is indicative of a team that is about to be screwed the moment their players age out of effectiveness.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to push back against any of that.
You can't, 'cause it's true.
You want to let's play a game called Guess Bryce Harper's OPS in July of 2026.
Oh, I have Fangraphs open right here. I'm going to cheat.
Oh,
No, I won't look at it. I'm looking at Brandon Marsh's page right now, but I can take a guess, I think.
sure. Okay.
It is, I'd say it's 550.
That's pretty good. It's 557.
Yes!
Going back, like he had a pretty bad month in July of 24, 598.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really the only month that is comparable for his time as a Philly.
What if it's
This
his,
is,
I hate to say it, what if it's his wrist acting up again, and they're just trying to get him to play through it?
I mean, what other choice would they really have at this
I know,
point?
what other choice do they have, but like, just, guys, we are, this was coming. We knew we had a 3 or 4 year window, and it's over.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't even think you can say that it slammed shut because I think it was pretty clear that it was shutting, right? Like it's just
Yeah.
they didn't want to admit it.
Mm-hmm.
Just thank God we didn't sign Bichette.
Jesus fucking Christ. The amount of shit I took in the offseason for saying that the Mets haven't suddenly become this unbeatable juggernaut because, oh my God, Freddie Peralta and Bo Bichette was insanity. Insanity. And like, you go look at Bo Bichette, and it just looks like, honestly, the Castellanos contract again, but it's not 5 years. Or at least the same reasoning for it. Coming off, he's had sort of ups and downs throughout his entire career. He sucks at fielding. He's sort of a doubles and contact guy. It just they profile very similarly, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then people were like, "Yeah, we want another high chase rate guy. That's what we want."
It's bleak right now. Jeremy, do you have any positivity for us? You're usually good at supplying the positivity.
Did I mention last week we signed Spangler?
Yeah, I think so. So,
well,
that's good.
We signed Tyler Spangler. His back was cleared. I don't know. Woo.
Hey guys, I got more positivity for us. Who is ready to not have any baseball in 2027?
Hey, bad.
I'm ready. And guys, if you think this team's declined this year, wait till you see this team 1 year
salary
removed.
cap?
Yeah, post salary cap and 2 years older.
It's bleak.
Oh yeah, baby. And Zach Wheeler talking like
Brian Racone is going to be the future, or traded.
Oh yes. We will have Edgar Renteria, or not Edgar Renteria. We'll have is that his name? What's the guy Renteria's name?
No,
first name I fucking forget.
Oh my yeah. Hold yeah.
I am sleep deprived.
Francisco Renteria, and for the love of God, people, he is not Edgar Renteria's son. That's a Sports Illustrated AR article. Don't listen to Sports Illustrated.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking it like that.
No. But multiple times on the subreddit, I would be like, he's not his son.
Francisco Renteria, he's going to be up here in 2028 when he's 19 years old, and he's going to be raking. Second coming of Ronald Acuna Jr.
Can we finally get the hot teenage prospect
from like Latin America? Yeah, I know, right? Can we develop somebody internationally for once in this organization's godforsaken existence, besides Ranger Suarez?
Here's a good question regarding the development. Okay,
Christopher Sanchez.
Who is the best
homegrown
player?
Okay.
So Sanchez not homegrown in the last 10 years.
Aaron Nola.
Sanchez is homegrown. Sanchez is totally homegrown.
But Nola doesn't count because he came up in 2015. Shit.
Yeah, Nola's more than 10 years ago.
Hoskins or Stott.
It's probably Hoskins, and that is bleak.
Yeah. No disrespect to Reese.
Never mind. I guess Sanchez only had 1 year in the minors with us.
So I'd say we developed Sanchez, but we didn't like draft him or sign him originally. So that's kind of the point.
Yeah, but if you trade for a guy early enough and everything, but he has only 1 year in the minors, I'll take that. Yeah, sure. Cotham made him. Let's see, the past 10 years.
I think Stott will end up being the best, but right now it's Hoskins.
I think it's Hoskins personally. Mm-hmm. I think you could make an argument for Stott. Bohm.
No.
Ha.
Wait, are we doing position player? Because if it's pitcher, it's Ranger.
When did we sign Ranger? That's the question, though.
Oh,
I think wasn't Ranger like an early 2010 signing?
Yeah.
I guess he was 20. I guess he was 2012. But Hoskins was, when was he drafted?
Hoskins was drafted in 14.
Yeah, Hoskins 2014. Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
So it's Stott. It's Stott then.
That's crazy.
Jesus. Stott was drafted in 19, I think. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah.
God, that's man, Jesus Christ. Listen, I will keep posing the question. Is that the tough thing about this is you don't know where the fuck up is happening. You don't really know if it's the drafting or if it's the player development. I think it's the drafting, personally, because we have seen
everyone likes our draft picks always. So it's.
I don't know. Like I also think there's been a lot of bad luck. I think Andrew Painter was incredibly unlucky for them, and I think Aiden Miller was really unlucky, obviously. But like the mid to late round stuff, like Joe's pointed that out to me before. It's like none of those guys have come close to being interesting. Their third round,
we can't even get. But Alex, we may have an interesting guy, Alex McFarland, a fourth round pick, who might be a cool reliever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, try it. It's just bizarre.
The what is it? Just a random guy that I remember like looking at from a draft a couple of years ago. They picked in the third round, I forget, it's like Dalton or something, Saltaban, and the dude's not going to make it to Double-A as a third round pick, and that's just like obviously some third round picks just really flame out quickly and stuff, but it's just indicative, I think, of the whole minor league system that guys just aren't progressing. Griffin Burkholder was supposed to be this sort of prized piece of the 2024 draft, I think. And, he was injured for most of 2025. He's been decent in Single-A this year, but he's not been sort of this, like, oh my God, this kid's like really good or anything down there. It's like an 800 OPS and, playing decent defense or whatever. It's just outside of pitching development, which I do actually think they are semi-competent at, they are just horrifically awful right now. And it's damn, man. Here we go. We're heading into another rebuild. That's all there is to it.
I think that with prospects, there's like a hype cycle for prospects where people are like looking for the positives and maybe ignoring the negatives in a prospect. And I agree. There's totally been like a lack of luck with guys like Painter, with Miller, stuff like that. But I think Crawford's like the perfect example of
absolutely
ignore the red flags. And I feel like prospect hype train is just built on ignoring red flags in players and just projecting the best possible case instead of the
Oh yeah.
most realistic case.
Hmm. Like I remember when Bryson Stott was being hyped up in the minors, and it was only like one person ever said the batting champ bullshit. That was like never really a thing among MLB circles. But I think they were saying his his ceiling was like Garrett Anderson or something. That guy who played with the Angels in
Right.
Rest in
2002.
peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And they're like, yeah, that's his ceiling is a Garrett Anderson, and it's just like, where is that ceiling? I have not even seen flashes of that from Bryson Stott. So just that's just another example, I think, of the prospect hype train getting out of control. And then whenever they do get anybody that's remotely interesting at all, they get traded off. And listen, I think you can. I don't know that you can even make the argument that they weren't good anyways, especially if you get traded to like really shitty teams generally, which is what happens to these prospects, because you don't know if it's the prospect that's shit or it's the team that you just traded them that's shit. It's all a clusterfuck, and that's also what makes it so hard to fix when you have bad drafting and player development, because it could be either one's a problem. It could be both. Who knows?
Yeah. And for people that like the negativity, that like the bleakness,
I'm sorry.
no, I mean, this is gonna be like come back because we're gonna have a lot more of it in our next episode.
Oh gosh.
It'll be more. Well, it'll be more positive. We're gonna run through the minor league system. Talk about who we want to keep. Who will be okay with leaving.
Is going through the minor league system positive? That sounds very negative
That
to me.
sounds really negative to me. I mean, I have
No,
about four guys in the
we
minor
have
leagues.
some fun guys. We have some fun guys.
We have some fun guys. We don't have. But how many guys do we have that are like, ooh, I could build a team around that?
Yeah, well, just need a few
Listen to the
spins.
episode coming up, and you'll learn.
Come listen to the next episode. Same R-Phillies time. Same R-Phillies channel.
So, just as a little bit of a preview for what we have coming up, we have coming up after this Marlins series. We'll recap the series. Wednesday, we'll have that podcast out Wednesday evening at some point. And then some point, probably Friday before the game, we're going to have another episode up all about the trade deadline preview. So, going through the prospects, all of that kind of stuff. And then, of course,
Yeah.
if there is some kind of big trade that happens,
God,
we'll
please.
provide you with an emergency podcast for that, and of course, a reaction to everything once the trade deadline ends on the 3rd of August.
Can I just provide one quick spoiler for that deadline thing? If you haven't read any the post that's on the sub, I think they should do a 2012 sort of sell at the deadline, where you lightly sell pieces that are, kind of easy-ish to move.
You're getting me excited to hear all about this, man.
Oh yeah, it pissed a good amount of people off. But I'll save that. That you got to come back for the next episode to hear my wild hot takes on who the Phillies should move.
And just quickly going over the probables, I know we kind of went over a little bit of this earlier. Tomorrow night, no off day in between these series. We
Fun.
do have an off day Thursday, though. Zach Wheeler, Tyler Phillips going head to head tomorrow night. Tuesday, Nola against Sandy Alcantara. I think he is a future Philly. I think this might be the last start for Alcantara on the Marlins before he joins the Phillies for whatever that's worth. And then
That'd be just quick note. So sad for him because the Marlins just starting to look like they're turning around, and then he gets shipped to a fucking team on the downtrend.
The Marlins have lost 12 in a row.
Yeah, but their core is young and I think has a good future in front of them.
Yeah, but he's a free agent. He's not staying with them.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Wednesday we have Jesus Luzardo against to be determined. So
Best pitcher of all time.
Anybody have anything else that they want to give us for this episode?
Go Phils.
We're fucked.
Great note to end it on. Thank you all for joining, and we'll be back on Wednesday after this series. Talk to you all then.